On Osrc News at 7, Governor Ayedatiwa issues fresh directive on road projects across Ondo State. Osrc lands captures purpose of urban renewal drive as traders, destitutes take over bus shelters in Akure. Tinubu calls for improved regional security, seeks bilateral relations with France. And from the foreign scene, racist gunman in U.S. mass shooting faces death penalty. Good evening. Thank you for joining us on the news at 7. My name is Sahid Arubisala. Ondo State Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa has ordered all contractors handling road projects across the state to immediately return to site for timely completion of the projects. In a statement by the Chief Press Secretary to the Governor, Ebenezer Adeniyo, the Governor has also approved the rehabilitation and asphalt overlay of 60-kilometer roads across the state within the next 3 months. The statement said Governor Ayedatiwa will promise that all ongoing infrastructural projects in the state will be completed, directed the Ministry of Works and Infrastructure to mobilize contractors back to site to speed up work on the projects for early completion. The Governor expressed the determination of his administration to hit the ground running with the implementation of policies and programs of government as scheduled to budget, assuring on timely payment of jobs for jobs done by the contractors, while relaying the directive of the Governor to the contractors handling projects in the state. The Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Works and Infrastructure, Engineer Allen Idowu, said Governor Ayedatiwa expressed readiness to ensure that the needed resources are made available on time to encourage them. The Permanent Secretary added that the officials of the ministry have also been mobilized to play their part. The projects include completion of our township dualization, completion of Oba Oshupa Oluwatuyi Ijoka Akure dualization, completion of Oda dual carriage in Akure, completion of Akure flyover Oyarugulem Shagari Irese, construction of 15.8 kilometers selected roads in Ondo Township, construction of Arigidi Obadiakoko Road, construction of internal roads in Olusegun Agago University of Technology, Okutubupa, among others. The ongoing Ileshawa flyover project at Oyarugulem Junction in Akure is currently over 50% completion and would be delivered by May this year. Project manager on site, Femi James, will confirm this to Osrc, said all substructural components have been put in place and the beams already precasted on site. Omoro Lamuji has details.
This second flyover of 750 meters long and width of 28 meters is a project of the Ondo State government and is situated at Oyarugulem Junction along Ileshawa Expressway. As at the time of filing this report, installation of reinforcement is at the advanced stage on the site leading to Shagari Estate, which is the larger portion of the project, while the pile installations at the other end of the Owo-Ilesha Highway is over 98% completed, while work is ongoing on other components of the project. Speaking of the current state of the flyover, project manager Femi James said all the substructures have been completed that will bear the major beams are on the way.
Right now, we are approaching 50%, almost at 50% of our work. We're through with all our substructure, and as you can see, all the pile caps are in place. The piers that will bear the major beams are already ongoing. We've gone about 70% on that. Then all the beams are already precast, as you can see them around. So right now, we're about 50% of the project.
Work on the culvert is also completed, while the retaining wall is currently being worked on.
On the other end, like I said, all the pile caps are completed. Right now, we are shifting to that side. Why we concentrated on this side before was to reduce the impact on traffic. But now we are through to this with this side. This side is actually about 70% of the project. The other side is just about 30%. And that's where we are moving on now. You can see that we're already trying to raise the reinforcement for the piers along that side. So work is also ongoing on the other side.
At the rate at which the project is progressing, there is a possibility that the May 2024 handover date will be feasible as all time-demanding components have been completed. Omoniola Hungbiji, OSRC News.
The state of bus stops constructed for school shuttle buses in Ondo State has become a topic of discussion among residents of Akure, the state capital. Osrc camera lens captured the dilapidated structures and bushy surroundings of the bus stops, which was constructed as a temporary stop for shuttle buses carrying students to and from their schools. Omar Langaji, this report has an update on the situation.
Noticeable in strategic places in the state capital are bus stops constructed by past administration to serve as a temporary stop for students being carted by shuttle buses to and from schools. For residents of the state capital, the purpose of the initiative has been defeated as some of the bus stops have been taken over.
We are using it for looking for shop and the other way. When government want to innovate it, it will give us some time, look for some place to stay and doing our business. Because all our human beings, we are looking for what our children are going to eat.
Them can help us to find somewhere. If they want to replace here, them can help us to find somewhere. It's no problem. We can manage it like that.
Destitutes and some mentally challenged people have also made it their abode. These bus stops, built years ago, among other reasons, was part of the urban renewed drive of the government. It is, however, disheartening to see the bus stops littered with refuse dumps taken over by traders, destitutes, among others. Special Advisor on Transport, Toby Ogunleye, cleared the air on government's plan for the bus stops.
We are in the first quarter of this year. We are doing a complete facelifting and then taking possession of our properties. So be rest assured about that. We can't remove them. We want to improve on it and able to take absolute possession of it. We will not allow illegal occupiers, illegal traders. It's bus stop, not bus park. Some people normally park there. It is wrong. They are constructing traffic offenses there.
He also advocated collaboration among relevant authorities in charge of ensuring destitutes and persons with mental challenges of their game. He also advocated collaboration among relevant authorities in charge of ensuring destitutes and persons with mental challenges of their game at ensuring they are rid of the streets. Omoriola Hungbiji, OSRC News.
Residents of Akure, the Ondo State capital, have applauded the recent decision of President Bola Tinubu to reduce the entourage for both domestic and international travel by 60%. The move, which is said to be part of cost-cutting measures of the presidency, will affect all federal ministries, departments and agencies, as well as the offices of the president, vice presidents, the wives of both ministers and head of departments. Joy Piles reports that Nigerians have called for proper compliance and strict monitoring to ensure effective implementation.
President Bola Tinubu on Tuesday, the 9th day of January, announced a significant reduction of his entourage for domestic and international travelers by 60%. According to the President's Special Advisor on Media and Publicity, Ajuri Ngilali, the move signals a decisive and positive step towards cutting down on excessive travel expenses of the presidency and will affect the office of the president, vice president, wife of the president and vice president, ministers, and heads of agencies. Reacting to the development, residents of Akure, the Ondo State capital, described the measure as one positive step towards the reduction in cost of governance and a way of halting wastage.
This is another right step in the right direction if President Tinubu can carry through this new policy, because over the years, it had always been the case of over-bloated government. It has always been the case of excessive spending to maintain huge retinue of government officials wherever they are going. And this is why people believe that government in Nigeria is one of the costliest to run in the world because of excessive personnel cost. So a situation where you see people going on maybe going for seminars or going on any assignment of government, and you see them going in their huge number, it's an embarrassment even to the government, especially federal government. Not to talk about the financial implication of that, which takes its toll on the national economy. So if they can do this now, it will have drastically reduced personnel costs in government.
It's a welcome idea. We're glad that it appears that due to the public outcry concerning cutting the cost of governance, this administration has decided to take that step. But again, our job is to put them on their toes and to ensure they are always accountable for people. I would have said that it shouldn't have been an afterthought. That is something you do 8 months into the administration. It must have been something that should have come even before the budget for 2024 was submitted and passed. There were things that have been made provisions for in 2024 already that I don't think the declaration of the presidency would cut it out. It's a law. It's been passed into law. So if you imagine, for instance, some ministries have made budgets for 10, 15 people, what now happens to that amount of money now? What happens to that cost? We must be sure that these monies, and must know how much they are, that they are probably returned back, or we know precisely. But if not, that amount of money might become something that will be embezzled. But it's a welcome idea to cut, and we hope that after the declaration, we see it in practicality.
They tasked the president on further measures and policies to trim wastage in the public sector.
It's a good development, but the federal government should go ahead and make sure that the recurrent expenditure is slashed further. How do they do it? The number of ministers are too more. They have too many ministers, 52. What are they doing with it? Are you getting it? We need just 36 with the others. So it will reduce the number of ministers, and it will be a sizable number. What Nigerians are yearning for is the reduction of recurrent expenditure at the increase in capital expenditure. The way it is now, we still have more money being spent on disposables, on individuals, purchase of vehicles, purchase of other things for individuals, rather than development of the land and its people.
As President Bola Tinubu makes efforts to reform public spending by putting an end to what has been perceived over the years as government wastage in Nigeria, the public awaits the effective implementation of these measures, which were ineffective during past administrations. Joy Pius, OSRC News.
President Bola Tinubu has approved the appointment of the board members of the midstream and downstream gas We're due to take a break, and after the break, you get the story of how the long arm of the law has caught up with suspected illegal petroleum dealers. Details of this and more after the break. Please stay.
Hey, Iskili, báwo la ti fẹ́ sanwó ni? Farabalẹ̀. 1,000. We go wash play tire o. Farabalẹ̀ now.
Madam, èló lówó wa?
Brother, na 3,005.
Màá fún yín ní owó pé káàdì Glo ẹlẹ́gbẹ̀rún 10,000.
Oh yeah.
Bring your phone.
Ha! 10,000.
1,000 naira credit. Now you dey turn to 10,000.
No. All of us don't know about Glo Berekete. Ní ìlọ́po mẹ́wàá nísìnyí.
Ṣé o ti gbọ́? Ìlọ́po mẹ́wàá ló máa gbà lórí iyekíye tó o bá rà sórí ohun ìpè Glo Berekete 10 times rẹ.
I told you. Na wa go tell.
Thank you for joining us again. You can watch us live on our website www.osrc.ng or follow us on Facebook. To more stories now, Dangote Refinery has assured that refined products, specifically diesel and aviation fuel, will be in the market this month. The 20 billion The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has commenced plans to decongest its head office in Abuja, the nation's capital. In a circular from the director, three suspected illegal petroleum dealers have been apprehended in Ondo State by the state commandant of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps.
They come lap or say everybody under arrest. We never drive the boat sef.
The suspects Isheoluwa Moitan, aged 30, Ogbudu Adeshina, 19, and Kehinde Ajano, 21, were nabbed on Tuesday, 10th of January 2024 at exactly 1:42 a.m. by Marine Patrol Team of the Anti-Vandalization based on credible intelligence. They were arrested on board a 40-horsepower engine wooden boat containing about 4,000 liters of illegally refined petroleum products suspected to be automated gas oil concealed in cellophane bags. According to suspects, Ogbudu and Kehinde, Isheoluwa Moitan engaged them to convey the product which were unknown to them.
The call say they get load, say me can carry. My plan is maybe crayfish, abi fish. Immediately we reach there, I never see anything sef. I no suspect say na that kind thing sef na go dey the boat.
Call us say make we come drive the boat. Now come meet the place. The night. Now come reach the place. We never enter the boat. Now civil defence come arrest us. Now carry am come.
Àwọn obìnrin ló pè wọ́n. Wọ́n wà náà kúrẹ́ bí wọ́n ti wọ́n kàn mọ́ ibi tí wọ́n lè wá sí ni.
Addressing journalists, the Ondo State Corps Commandant Ibiloye Oluyemi declared that under his watch, the command will be zero tolerance to illegal dealings in petroleum products and other allied offences.
Immediately I assumed office, I'd given a marching order to the anti-vandal squad. You would recall that I mentioned that protection of critical national assets and infrastructure is one of our core mandates. And I'd asked the anti-vandal team to go all out and ensure that all criminals and criminalities along our waterways are apprehended.
He reiterated his commitment to safeguarding all critical national assets and infrastructure, disaster management, training, supervision and monitoring of private guard companies, as well as protecting agro-allied industries and mediation between farmers and herders to forestall any breach of peace in the state.
We cannot continue to plunder our nation's wealth just because of personal gains. This is another note of warning to all those vandals out there that the men are all out and they will ensure that all forms of criminalities are put to an end.
The commandant said the suspect will be charged to court at the end of investigations, while the exhibits will be forfeited and proceeds remitted to the federal government coffers. Omoniola Humbiji, Osrc News.
The federal government says it has developed plans to build satellite cities across the country to President Bola Tinubu has called for strengthened cooperation between Nigeria and France to address the prevailing threats of terrorism. In a farewell now to China, at least 10 people have died and 6Federal prosecutors in the United States will seek the death penalty against the store security guard, and a church deacon who drove shoppers to and from the store with their groceries. 3 people were wounded but survived. Sport news now. Hours to the 2023 African Cup of Nations, Nigerians have expressed mixed feelings over the Super Eagles' chances of clinching the African trophy considering their current form. The Super Eagles last won the 2013 edition in South Africa more than 10 years on. The team is dreaming of repeating the feat in Cote d'Ivoire. Osrc being Aloajan reports that the Super Eagles of Nigeria have arrived Abidjan, Cote d'Ivoire capital city, to prepare for their first match against Equatorial Guinea on Sunday. The report.
The Super Eagles of Nigeria have made 20 appearances at Africa's most prestigious soccer competition, the African Cup of Nations. They won the title in 1980, 1994 and 2013. More than 10 years after, the Nigerian Football Federation launched Let's Do It Again campaign ahead of the 2024 AFCON in Abidjan. The Super Eagles are currently ranked 42nd in the world and placed in Group A alongside Equatorial Guinea, Cote d'Ivoire and Guinea-Bissau in 2024 AFCON. For Nigerians, their opinions vary about the team's makeup, squad ability and confidence to repeat the 2013 feat of winning the title.
Well, I'm not satisfied with the current team, looking at the fact that they have not had it good in the last few months. Looking at the build-up to the Nations Cup qualifiers, they had it really good, but when it comes to the World Cup qualifiers, they didn't really perform. Out of possible, 6 points or so, we were only having 2 points.
The players, individual forms, they have it, but collectively, they've not been playing together for a long time. So there may be initial problem when they start.
They should be able to go far, at least far better than the previous ones. And then, though they talked about some of them who sustained injuries during the training and other stuff, and we just hope that probably some of them will get over it before the completion of the match.
Nigerian striker Victor Boniface, who missed this year's AFCON due to injury, added to the injury list of Wilfred Ndidi. After Super Eagles' 2-0 loss to Guinea in a warm-up match, there are concerns whether the absence of 2 injured players will be missed despite being replaced by Terry Murphy and Al-Hassan Yusuf.
The injury will definitely rub off because the coach has his plan already and he knows how to use his players. Victor Boniface is a very, very nice player. He has been playing and scoring goal in Germany. So bringing in somebody else now at the dead hour, and I'm so certain, if you know, Kelechi Iheanacho and Wilfred did not train with the guys in Abu Dhabi. So definitely it will affect the plans of the coach. But notwithstanding, Nigeria, we have this spirit, and the team of the AFCON for Nigeria is Let's Do It Again. So probably that will inspire them to go ahead and do what is expected of them.
Weakness has been the defensive midfielders, and midfielders have not been playing aggressive football, and if the midfield is not working well, how do you transit the ball from the defense to the fantastic attackers that we have? So it's a very big challenge.
Welfare is considered a key motivation ahead of any tournament, with a backlog of allowances and match bonuses owed. There are concerns about how this may affect the team's performance at the tourney.
Most of the problem we have in Nigeria is you give instruction and it's not being implemented. So I think if such instruction by the president is being implemented, those players that are being owed backlog of salaries, allowances being paid, I think it will also boost the morale of the boys.
Let's say we were going to the Nations Cup like we went in 2013. People were not expecting much, and we came home with a trophy. So if we are a little bit pessimistic, we might come home with a trophy.
Super Eagles head coach Jose Pesero's 25-man list is brimming with youth and experience, with
Let's remind you before we end the news tonight that Governor Aiyedatiwa has directed road contractors across Ondo State to return to site. We also told you the Osrc captured purpose of urban renewal drivers, traders, destitutes take over bus shelters in Akure. And that's the news tonight. Thanks for watching. Good night.